Well, welcome back, you guys. Today we have a unique opportunity. Now we're up here at the old house where we just recently did a video planting these brand new bare root early red haven trees. And we've just got through planting 3 brand new Lemon Elberta peach trees. So as I was planting those trees, I noticed that each tree is quite a bit different. And so today I'd like to bring you along with me as we go through and prune each tree. And we'll start with the easiest tree first and work our way up between the 3 trees. Each one is going to get a little bit more tricky and more difficult to figure out the strategy we're going to be using on those trees. And one of the things that can make people really efficient and good at pruning is practice. So practice makes perfect. And we're going to go through and practice on 3 brand new trees today. So here we are. Let's begin with tree number 1. And tree number 1 has a few tags still on it. We just purchased these from Home Depot. And this one says that it's a G Lemon Elberta. And this stands for Gleason Lemon Elberta. And these are a very popular peach to grow for canning purposes. And they're really good for fresh eating as well. And they're going to be coming ripe in the mid to late season. So the first and most important step to any good pruning is cutting the tags off first. So the first thing we're going to be looking for on this tree, and what makes this tree kind of the easiest one to prune and start with, is that this tree has a lot of good branches that can form our scaffold branches or our structure bearing branches that are going out in a lot of good directions here. And they're also spaced out nicely. So with that being said, let's pick some of them. One of the tricks I use is I come right over the center of the tree and I'm looking at all the branches as they're coming out to look at it almost like a compass, where we have branches heading north and south and east and west, because what we're trying to do is fill out the ring of the tree with different branches and structure that's going to support those different areas around the tree. So even if the branches aren't perfectly north, south, east, west, in fact, they hardly ever are, that's not the point. The point is that we want to fill out the ring of that tree, and the branches, we will steer them that way over time. And I'm also looking for some branches that have a good thickness to them and a good vigor to them. So for example, this little branch over here is still alive. You can see the green in the branch, but it doesn't have much leaves going on, and it's kind of skinny and wimpy. So I'm not going to keep that one. I'll cut that one off. Now I have a nice one here. It's coming out, and we can definitely pick that one. We also have a nice one here coming out. But one of the other things we can think about before we make our decision and our pick is how high up do we want the scaffold branches to be? Now at the farm, where we have hundreds of trees in the orchard, we may want the scaffolds to be pretty low down here, where we're only 18 inches above the ground, so that by the time they're bushing out up higher, the tree is only 7 to 8 feet high, and it's really easy for us to maintenance the tree in a mass production type of way. But in your yard, that may not be the case. You're going to be mowing around it. You want to be able to walk around your tree. Your grandkids or your kids are playing in the backyard. And so you don't want to be hitting your head on big scaffold limbs poking out all the time. So you may want to choose some limbs that are going to be a little bit higher up here and start your scaffolds a little bit higher. But understanding that if you're going to make the scaffolds higher, it might mean that your tree is going to be in the 9 to 10 feet range in its production zone. And that might mean that you're going to have to include some ladder work like this orchard ladder right here. Now with all those things going through my head, it's time for me to make some cuts here. So this should go pretty quick. This tree, I noticed, kind of has some nice ones going northeast, northwest, southwest, southeast. So I'm going to keep this one for going that direction. And that cancels these ones that are down really low. I'm also going to cut off that little one down below this lowest scaffold. And then for the one going the other direction to the northwest, I'm going to keep this one right here, this big strong one. And now the branch that's headed out here to the southwest, I'm going to keep this one right here. And I also have one headed to the southeast over here. So these are the ones I'm picking. And that means we have one major cut right here. And as I make this heading cut, I'm going to come up as far as I think I need to, maybe a couple inches, so that this tree has a little bit of dieback. It hopefully will not affect the scaffold that we've chosen here. Sometimes it can, but if we leave enough extra there, many times it will not. So that completes tree number 1, and that wasn't too bad. That was pretty easy because we had a lot of nice branches to pick from. So let's go ahead to tree number 2. Okay, here we are at tree number 2. And tree number 2 might look a little scary. It's got a really tall shape to it, and we have kind of 2 main branches here that have formed. But as complicated as this one might seem, it's a little bit easier than you would think. Because what we're going to do is we're going to keep these 2 that have formed, but we're going to top them off. And by topping them off like this, making a cut there, and maybe a cut right here, it's really going to force the branch to focus on all these lateral growth out here, which is exactly what we're wanting right now. We're wanting some branches to shoot out these directions because we already have these 2 that are headed in the south and north direction, but it's going to work on all these other branches, and by next year we should be able to pick some coming to the west and to the east. So as challenging as this one might have started out looking, knowing our strategy of what we're going to do, it's a little bit easier than it looks. So here we are now at the most difficult tree, tree number 3. And this tree has some complex issues going on with it. So let's talk through it just a little bit before I start making cuts. So the first thing I'm noticing about this tree right here is that for some reason, these branches right here that were headed out west have all been cut off or pruned off. And so it leaves nothing much that's coming out in the westerly direction. And also we have a very strong central branch here that's kind of formed as the central leader. So we want this to be an open center strategy. So we're going to kind of modify that and do away with that the best we can. But we don't want to make that cut yet because we need to figure out what we're going to need to keep off of this to go into our different directions. So we have some pretty good branches going in the other directions. We have a pretty good northern going branch here, and we have a branch pretty good going to the south here, and we even have a decent little branch that's growing towards the east. But we have a branch that's very strong that's kind of crowding between the east and this north branch, and although it's strong, I'm going to take that one out because it's not going to be part of my strategy. And these other ones are pretty strong themselves, and so we're just going to clean that up just a little bit in there. So now we have this branch headed north, we have this branch headed south, and we have a good little branch here. It's got some nice new growth headed to the east. So now that we've selected the 3 other scaffolds that we're going to work with, we need to figure out what we can work with to try to send out to the west. So we have one coming off the northern branch right here. So that might be something we leave. It's a little close to the crotch of the tree here where that's connecting, so I'm not too excited about that. I'd rather almost have a branch a little ways up that comes off if I could. But headed up here, we have another one headed to the south. We have some of these others that are headed to the north. And this one here is kind of headed to the northwest a little bit. So that might be one that we keep with us to see if it'll veer to the west. We have another one here that's kind of died off that was headed to the west. And a lot of these others in here are headed the wrong direction. But we do have some pretty good little branches that could potentially go westward here in this group of branches. And don't have much of that on that one. So what I'm going to do is cut out this one, and I'm going to top the tree right here at this level so that I let whatever can happen here on these westward branches see what the tree decides to do and see if it'll throw some out that way. And I'm going to clean off below that some of these other ones that I don't need, but I had this one here that potentially could go out west, So I'm going to keep that one around for this season, and I'm going to cut off some of these extras that we don't need, and we'll take that one off too. Now, to complete these other little scaffolds out here, I'm just going to head them off, and I'm going to head this one off too, and I'm going to let those heading actions, those cuts we made, really give us some more lateral action out of these to help develop, and so that we have more to choose from come next year. Now, if you come over and look at this tree like we did on the first one, where we did a straight down look like the compass, you notice that this tree is far from that ideal compass shape. But through next year and the next years, as we keep developing these branches out, it will come into shape and come into form. But it has its own unique look this year. So they say that practice makes perfect. As a homeowner, you may only ever plant one peach tree in your yard. And so sometimes it's hard to get a good feel for the nature of the tree and the different scenarios that you can be running into as you buy different shaped trees with different limbs been cut off. That's one of the reasons we wanted to do this video for you today, is to give you some repetition and give you reps and go through a few of these trees. And we're really looking forward to getting some Lemon Elberta peaches as well. So we'll see you on the next video.